As moral society breaks down even further and the Satanists within the upper echelons of society assume that their rituals are acceptable to the masses, statements like these begin to trickle out.
I guess drank each other's blood might mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only.
In a tell-all interview with Glamour magazine, Megan Fox addressed rumors admitting that she and Machine Gun Kelly routinely engage in blood-drinking rituals.
It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you.
That happens?
It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
As Jamie White writes, reactions from social media over Fox's disturbing revelations ranged from pointing out that Alex Jones was right about Hollywood's satanic energy to mocking Fox and Kelly's sadomasochistic romance. Meanwhile, a child formerly under the care of South African band The Antwoord, known as Taki, who is now 20 years old, accused the duo of exposing him and his underage sibling to unspeakable violence and even rituals tinged with their own blood.
When I lifted up the one box, like the whole black magic voodoo, came out. Like they felt like a rabbit's foot. I think it was a oak's foot or whatever. Fell out there. There was like a voodoo doll. There was a small bottle of blood.
Did you and your sister ever had blood taken from you by Ninja Nulandi?
Yes, lots of times actually. They took us to like a place. It's not really like a hospital or a private hospital or some type of thing. But they took us there and they said it's like a hospital, but there was no cause there. And then Ninja took us in there, they took our blood. And then me, Yolandi, and then we go out, and then Ninja's the only one who stays inside the hospital like for 15 minutes or so. Then when he came out of there, he had like a little bag in his hand. And when he took out the things in the bag, I saw a little bottle of blood inside the bag. And my mother said it was going to be a good experience for me. It's going to be better for me and whatnot. So I went. Then I also thought it was good, but then after a while I found out to say they were actually just me.
And speaking of the Hollywood pastime of
read the book, you'll be like, transitioning from Disney to this was easy. I don't know, getting from your 6 to your 14 seems like way harder circumstances, or being physically abused all the time. The type of mistreatment that I was still dealing with at that time, that everyone around me saw and did nothing.
According to the Daily Mail, a British actress who starred in Doctor Strange and her husband are accused of having with a 13-year-old girl after they her. The girl, now an adult, says that Zara Pythian and Victor Mark filmed the abuse in a bid to recreate scenes. The abuse is claimed to have happened between 2005 and 2008 when the couple were martial arts instructors in Nottinghamshire. Everything that we've seen already is just the beginning, and our society is enabling this evil inhabiting the bodies and minds of those we clamor to theaters and music venues to pay our hard-earned money to see. But it all adds up. In the words of John Adams, our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other.
There are many preconceived notions about what defines Satanism. Some people will say that Satanists are just playing dress-up. Some say they sacrifice children, and others believe they have magical powers. But the truth is much more simple. Most people will agree that Satanism is the antithesis of Christianity. So first we must define what Christianity is. In a sentence, Christianity is the impulse to express brotherly love towards our fellow man. Satanism does not have that impulse at all. In the most simple terms, Satanism can be described with the pop culture phrase, pimps and hoes. If these words upset you, good. We are talking about the nature of evil. And if it makes light of it, even better. These animals are nothing to fear. While the rich and powerful Satanists want you to believe they are witches and warlocks, they are nothing more than pimps and hoes, cannibals, feeding off other people like predatory animals. Completely devoid of the impulse for brotherly love, Satanism is base-level animal tribalism, an animal hierarchy comprised of the pimps at the top, the hoes they control, and the tricks they both exploit. This is the law of the jungle, which has existed for millennia. A survival of the fittest, dog-eat-dog world, where the nice guys always finish last. It is the patriarchy that the anti-Christians claim to oppose, which makes no sense, because we are only able to transcend this ruthlessness with the Christian impulse of brotherly love, where everyone is equally welcome. There is much talk about a battle being waged between good and evil, but this sort of simple black and white duality only exists in our mind. In reality, what's going on is a balancing act between our spirit and our body. While our spirit may be drawn to love and light, our body is an animal with innate animal instincts that cannot easily be suppressed. And like every other species of animal, the primary instincts are survival and reproduction. So as far as mammals go, the female is the ultimate prize in the game of life. A society built upon a Christian ethos of brotherly love is one that honors individual freedom, and the way to satisfy our animal desires for survival with brotherly love is through marriage and raising a family with some degree of selflessness. And without the Christian ethos of brotherly love, the Satanist simply sees women as the most valued commodity, to be bought and sold for one's own selfish desire. Pimps and hoes. Whether it be in the poorest communities or at the top of the pyramid, Satanism is all about control, and the ones at the top have invested everything into their technocratic pop culture media machine, which is their main method of pimping. And they see the brainwashed masses as their hoes, because according to the laws of the jungle, they own them, which is why they resent the Christian ethos, because it is the only thing on earth that stands against them. But the real problem with Satanism is that it keeps an individual from knowing God and discovering their true path. Our free will allows us the choice to either transcend spiritually, which requires a personal relationship with God, or descend into the animal kingdom and forever remain a beast, which is what the pimps and hoes are ultimately selling. But we don't have to buy it. Satanic influence has always been with us, and it is nothing to fear. These Satanist pimps are not gods. They are merely animals playing mind tricks and spinning lies. Redemption is for everyone, and humanity has a choice. We can either submit to the beast system and live like animals, or we can follow the Christian impulse for brotherly love and stand up against evil so that our children will know freedom.